I have a new fuzz. It's that little M-Vave you see over there and on the table. And I'm just going to make sure I don't click this when I plug it in. I bought this because of Andrew at 60 Cycle Hum. He has it under the C-U-V-A-V-E, which he calls M-Vave. And this one is the M-Vave, or Vave, M-Vave, whatever. It's the same company. They basically changed the names. Now, he has a sort of a rose gold one, and these are more gold, and he had another one with the M-Vave name on it. That was in the gold that I have here. And I noticed on YouTube there is another one identical to this, and it's got shark chili, I think is the name of it, but it's identical to this and exactly the same color. Just where it says M-Vave, it says shark chili, and the demonstration sounds just like this one. So I bought this one off of AliExpress just to see, because somebody opened up the second one that he had, which was the gold one, and because when he turned it on, it had a floor buzz. Let me see. And they say, well, that's because of the feedback circuit to the amplifier. So this has discrete components. It's not an integrated circuit. It has transistors. And so it's more analog. It's an analog fuzz. I've got it set. I'm going to put this knob back down to the bottom. So my volume is like half up, and the tone is full clockwise, because on this one, the least amount of bass is full clockwise. The least amount of fuzz is counterclockwise. And the volume, again, counterclockwise none and up. And so I was looking for a single coil guitar Strat in my livery, and I didn't have any. Every Strat I have is HSS. So this one doesn't have the capacity to split the bridge, but it's a fairly bright bridge, so we're going to try this one. And I've got my Musi, a Capricorn here, which does have a split on the bridge, and maybe we can run a couple of those as well. Pickups are very different in that one. Pickups in this one are original from Monoprice, and I had no feeling that I really had to change these because they sound pretty good. So let's put the sound back on, and I have my standard 65 Deluxe with just my reverb and delay tiny bits wet, damp. What else did I want to say? In playing with these fuzz pedals over the last few days before turning on the camera, I also played around with different amp emulations, because Andrew uses a Princeton all the time when he does his budget pedal board stuff and other stuff. So Princeton seems to be his fave. I find that the Princeton needs a lot more drive at the input in order to make it, bloom. That's why my 65 Deluxe is my favorite emulation here. I can also do the twin reverb. I can do the Princeton. I can do the Bassman. I can do the Champ. I've got the Vox. I've got 70s amp. It's like a Marshall. And I've got something else which I'm not sure what it is. It's black. And it's for metal, and it makes a horrific noise when you hit the strings, because of how loud it is, not because it's bad, it's just how loud and brash it is. Alright, so here's the guitar, middle pickup, single coil, just raw. right. Let's go back to the middle. Let's go to the bridge. Let's start there. Okay, middle. So the warmer the pickup, the more boomier it is. I think it sounds the best with the humbucker. Okay. Minimum tone. It's very bassy, right? It's like this. Just like that. Same as doing that. Now, if we start going up in fuzz, not a lot of change between minimum and middle. Now, most of it starts at the last little bit of the turn. Here. So full up. Hard hitting the amp, breaking up. There's no point in putting any more volume, is there? Yeah. The bottom end is not bad. Let's go to the single. It gives it a lot of sustain, but it's basically a little bit too much of a dark, he calls it Velcro fuzz. Let's try the Musi. I want to compare it slightly to my M-Vave as well. We're going to pull the switch on the Musi. So this is the split bridge. Go back to minimum, middle, so that sounds better with that one. What about full humbucker? More better. Okay, what about our little thing here? Very articulate with my full humbucker. Middle. Fuzz. All the way up in the screaming territory. It peters out. Okay, so I find this fuzz a little dark, okay? And I just want to hook up the vol. As well. Are we in camera? Yeah, okay. Now the vol for me is a more clear fuzz. It doesn't have the harsh grunge Velcro to it, and that probably has its place. But for me, I kind of like what the vol does for, you know, instrumental and some lead work. It's more clear, clean, as like this. Now this does have a little bit of floor buzz to it. They're plugged into the same power supply, right? And they're the only things that are operating right now on the power supplies. The power supply from the pedal board. So this one, if I put my hand on it, the noise goes down. So there's a grounding issue with this pedal, okay? And I think we're going to open that one up as well. But anyway, let's go. And the input on this one is basically, I think, equivalent to what they call fuzz on the other one. There's a filter as to what it allows through. And as you turn it counterclockwise, it brings up the lower end and lets that through it. It passes it through. Bigger signal going to the amplifier, which the output, of course, is the volume control. And this thing called color is tone. And it's opposite to the one on the M-Vave. Whereas this one is minimum at the clockwise, this one's minimum counterclockwise. So they're all there, and let's put the full thing in. This is in the silicon simulation. There's a germanium, which is a little bit more anemic. And also this one loses any further amplification past noon. Doesn't really make a big change. Extremely minor. So the biasing network that they have for that probably needs a little work. But at least it doesn't go brash. That's about my favorite setting right there. Sometimes the palm of my hand is too fat down there. Okay, now the other fuzz I have is in the amp. Simulated fuzz, an algorithm, and I have that one set up like this. It's very, very clean. It can be made very not clean. And it creates a buzz. Buzz is coming from the guitar. It's interesting. So the simulated fuzz is quite clean. It doesn't get grungy at all. It's like a very nice overdrive with a very cleaner sound to it. So yeah, let's experiment and go and open up this M-Vave and see what we can find in there. I want to compare what's in there to the fella that took one apart on YouTube and had to change the value of R7. That was a shunt resistor. It was set to 0. And he replaced it with a trim pot and increased it to somewhere around 400K, which was more than the original circuit. This is based on what's called, he said, a woolly mammoth. So it's got the 3 knobs, but the one it's missing is called pinch. And the pinch is the one that would adjust the feedback to the transistor loop to create the drive and the amplification. And that one is missing. It's got some fixed resistors in this version of it. I'm thinking I'd probably want to make it a variable resistor and kind of make it more like the woolly mammoth and have 4 knobs. And I'm also going to see if I can do something about what happens with the volume and what happens with not the volume, the gain, or the fuzz button, and this tone. The way the circuit is, the tone goes to ground and full output, and there's no network resistor along with it. So I want to take a look at that and see. There's 2 circuit boards in there. We have to disconnect a whole bunch of stuff to get them out and take a look. So let's go do that.